a healthcare professional like a physiotherapist, a pharmacist, you're needed under the health and care. You'll be required to be earning something. So how much is it going to cost you? It takes about 3 weeks to get your degree. It's £285. Hello everybody, welcome. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is MBC. So today I'll be talking to you about the health and care visa, all you need to know about it, who is eligible and how you can apply for it, and all the nitty-gritty that you need to know about the health and care visa. So thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Well, no need for long speeches, but thank you so much for those who subscribe and the new subscribers. I hope you've been finding my videos helpful. I will definitely get around answering any questions you have, my email, my inboxes, my social media handles, every place that you've messaged me. I hope to get around answering all your questions, but please do not stop commenting, do not stop sending messages, but eventually I will hopefully get through to replying. I'm not ignoring anybody, but I'm just trying to get through them as fast as I can. But yeah, the health and care visa came into play about a year ago. I did a video when they just announced it about a year ago of the speculation, but now we're really clear. Some of you have already applied for that visa, but I will be going into details and clarifying some things that you may not have been aware of. And for those that do not know about this visa, is that visa you apply for if you are a professional under the health and care sector. But no, you cannot apply for it if you're not registered to work legally in the UK. Example, if you're a doctor, you need to have obviously taken your PLAB 1 and PLAB 2 and be a qualified doctor to work in the UK. If you're a nurse, that applies to you as well. If you're a pharmacist, you have to go through the processes. Hopefully I would explain what the process is for my pharmacist in the building and all you need to know about it. So if you are a professional under, if you're a qualified doctor, like I said, qualified nurse, working under the health sector, a healthcare professional like a physiotherapist, a pharmacist, an optician, optometrist, dispensing manager, and all the things that involve medicine, then you're a qualified radiographer, lab scientist. There are loads of professions that is eligible under this visa. And also, if you're a social care worker, so the carers in the building, those that want to go into care work, you are eligible for this visa. And also, you must work for a UK health and care sector employer that is approved by the Home Office. And also, just like the skilled work visa, you should be earning the right amount of salary, whichever is higher, either the going rate or at least the minimum wage for that job that you were applying for. Also, you need to have your costs, you need to have certain things in place before you can apply for this visa. So you also need your occupational code, just like your skilled worker visa for any other job, which can be found on the ONS Coding 2 website. I'll put the link down below as well, so you need to check that as well if you are eligible. Your company can and may be able to give you that code, or you can find it yourself for the job offer that you have. And make sure, like I said, under the skilled work visa, that you have the right going rate salary being offered to you before you accept that job. So here are the 4 things you should have in place before you can apply or before you be eligible. Make sure your job is actually eligible for that visa. Make sure you are working for a UK health and care employer that is approved by the Home Office. Make sure you're earning the right amount of salary, that's the going rate or the minimum wage, whichever is higher. And lastly, make sure you're a qualified nurse, doctor, or healthcare professional, or qualified to work in social care. So there is a long list of people eligible, like jobs eligible. Like I've mentioned, physiotherapists, opticians, doctors, nurses, lab scientists, midwives, lab technician, dispensing technician, pharmacists, dental practitioner, ophthalmologist, radiographer, occupational therapists. Yes, you are eligible. Care workers, home carers, social care workers as well. The list goes on and on. On the website, on the gov.uk, you can see the code, your occupation code on the website that you would need to apply for these visa. So concerning your job offer must come from the NHS or an organisation providing services for the NHS or an organization providing services for adult social care. So what if the people you're working for aren't eligible to sponsor these visas? They would have to pay a small fee, so about £536 for small organizations and charities, or £1,476 for larger organizations. So this is what they need to pay in order to make them eligible sponsors for the health and care visa. Also, if you already have a job offer, you need to prove that you meet the eligibility criteria just listed, and this can be seen or proved by your employers on your certificate of sponsorship. They will state that you've obviously met the requirement, and they're giving a certificate of sponsorship to prove that you've actually met the eligibility requirements. Concerning the salary requirements, which is very important, you should be paid at least £20,480 or the going rate, whichever is higher. Just like the normal skilled work visa, you should be earning at least £20,480 or the going rate, whichever is higher. You need to meet a different salary requirement if you are a biological scientist, if you are a dispensing technician, pharmaceutical technician, a lab technician, biological scientist, physical scientist, care workers, home carers, and senior care workers. These are obviously the exception to the salary requirement. If you're doing any other healthcare job, check on the Gov for UK. I'll put the link down below if your job is eligible and what the going rate for that your job is, or your job offer, and what you'll be doing, what the going rate is all on gov.uk. So how much is it going to cost you? Just like every other visa, you have to prove that you have some money to look after yourself. So you should have in your account about £1,270 to be in your account for at least 28 days and above. So the application fee is £247 for up to 3 years per person and £479 for more than 3 years per person. The fee is the same if you're applying in the UK or outside the UK. So most times, if you're a health and care worker, because you are needed, your employers may be willing to sponsor you. And something I would like to say is, once you get your job offer, ask for it. Or before you accept a job offer, during your interview or whatever. No, you might be overly excited that you've gotten this job offer and everything, or you've gotten the job interview. But remember, you're needed. You're needed under the health and care sector. You're needed. If you needed an accommodation, if you want the company to pay you the leave-in allowance, so that's £1,270. If you want that to come from your employers, you can ask for it at the point of your interview. And if they accepted that, and if they say they're going to take care of your living costs, your upkeep and everything, it would need to also reflect on your cost. So make sure you have that in writing at the point of your interview or the point of your acceptance, that you let your employers know that they would need to confirm that they've accepted to sponsor you regarding your maintenance fee and your allowance, and they would need to reflect that on your cost. Word of mouth is not enough. The Home Office needs to see that your employers have accepted by including it in your certificate of sponsorship that they would be handling that. What documents do you need to apply? There are about 6 things. You need obviously your salary and what your annual salary is going to be, your job description and title, your sponsor's license number. You can ask your employers for this, your certificate of sponsorship number. Your employers will give you this as well, your proof of English, and finally, very important, a valid passport, obviously. So what are the other documents you need? Tuberculosis test, that's if you're coming in from a country where you need to do this test. Obviously, you have to check as well the requirement for that country that you're coming or flying in from. Your tuberculosis test certificate, you need to have that with you. You also need your PhD certificate or your master's degree certificate or your unique ECCTIS reference number. That's if your qualification is from outside the UK, you will need your ECCTIS reference number. That is that website you use to check that your degree is actually not fake. You need your criminal record certificate. Depends on the job job that you're working for or the job you'll be working at. You would also need your proof of that you can support yourself. That will be shown in your bank statement. So generally, you would need your criminal record certificate unless you are working as a biological scientist or physical scientist, and that's if you're flying from outside the UK. It takes about 3 weeks to get a decision on your application, and it's advisable that you apply about 3 months before you're due to start. Your start date would be stated on your certificate of sponsorship. You can also ask your employers to confirm that. Sending your partner or children or your dependents that you plan on bringing into the UK, it will cost you some extra money to bring them over. So your partner should be obviously your husband, civil partner, and you should be able to prove that you're actually in a relationship with that person and living together for at least 2 years, or you've been married or in a civil partnership that is obviously recognized in the UK. If your child is 16 and over, you must prove that they are living with you, they're not married or in civil partnership, basically that they're actually dependent on you. You must prove that before you can say, oh yeah, that's my dependent, but the person is about 18 or 19. You should be able to prove that, yeah, the person is living with you, the person is not married, and the person is being financially supported by you. So how much would you need to support them? Just like the UK skilled work visa, you would need £285 for your partner and £315 for your child, and an extra £200 for another child, and then £200 for another child. And that's how much you would need to support them, and you should obviously show this in your accounts, as well as £1,270 that you need to show for yourself on your statement. This should also reflect on your statement if you're bringing your partner and your children or your child. It will cost you exactly the same amount that you are paying for yours, so £247 for up to 3 years and £479 for more than 3 years. You should be able to reflect like the OCCIP fee in your account for at least 28 days and above, so a full 28 days when you're about to apply for the visa. That's the amount of time that your partner, your child, and your own OCCIP should reflect. And also, just to make sure, you can actually put it to your employers that you're a married man or you have kids that would need to join you, or a partner, and see if they will be willing to sponsor them in that regard, or give you that maintenance fee or OCCIP allowance to reflect in your account. And obviously that should be stated in your certificate of sponsorship if they have agreed to that demand. So applying from outside the UK, the decision takes about 3 weeks. But if you're applying from within the UK, it takes about 8 weeks. And another thing about having a partner or a child is they cannot apply from within the UK if they're on a visit visa, a short-term visa, a tourist visa, any temporary visa. They would need to apply from outside the UK. So example, if you're already in the UK working as a doctor or a nurse or under the health and care sector, your partner cannot, after using a visa to visit you, then switch to a dependent visa. They have to apply from the home country to be able to qualify and get that visa. So you can extend your visa if you are still in the same job, your occupation code hasn't changed, your salary is still in the range as when you applied or higher, if you're working for the same employers, if basically your job description is basically the same, if it's still from the same employer, then you can extend. You can't extend your visa if it's a different job altogether, if different job title, different job description, a different occupation code, then you would need to apply for a new health and care visa. And if you want to work an additional job, you need to update your visa, especially if you're working for more than 20 hours. If the job would be under a different occupation code, your visa would need to be updated. If you get a new job and you need to obviously switch your visas, you can apply for a new visa up to 3 months before you are due to start. So yes, you can extend your visa, or you can switch completely to a new sponsor, a new employer. That's if you're leaving your old employer. So if you're taking on additional work, you would need to write a letter stating to the Home Office that you would like to change your current permission to stay. So you can't switch this visa if you're on a visit visa, a tourist visa, a parent or child visa. If you're on a domestic worker visa in a private household, you can't switch the visa. But every other person, so if you're a student, if you're like a tier 4 visa, if any kind of visa apart from the one listed, you can basically switch to a health and care visa if needed. And also, if you're on a health and care visa, you can eventually apply to remain, so your ILR and eventually your passport as a British citizen. So the health and care visa, like we stated, your employers can give you sponsorship for up to 3 years. Some employers give you for more than 3 years, and obviously you have to pay the fee. So if they give you for about 5 years, as the case may be, then after that 5-year stretch, you will be eligible to apply for your indefinite leave to remain 1 year, and then eventually apply for your British passport as a British citizen. Also, I'd like to add that remember, the health and care visa was put into play because you are needed under the health sector in that job occupations code listed. I'll put a list of it down below of all the jobs eligible for this visa. And so when you're negotiating, or before you say yes, I would work for you, no matter how excited you are to get that job, make sure you negotiate so much that you can get as much as possible within reason from your employers. So if you need relocation allowance, if you need some sort of stipend, if you need help with your application fee, if you need help bringing in your family, just make sure all that is stated in a letter or your certificate of sponsorship, but definitely your certificate of sponsorship, your cost letter, if your employers have agreed to sort out your maintenance, your accommodation, all that should be reflected on your course letter. So guys, all the best to the health and care workers. I hope I've been able to sort of give you a summary of everything that's required. It's somewhat similar to the UK skilled work visa, so this was quicker than that one, but if you need details about it, go to gov.uk. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share and comment. Until next time, my name is Ambi C.